So, Mickey 17 is the latest entry into the filmography of Bong Joon-ho, who directed films such as Mother, Okja, The Host, Snowpiercer, Memories of Murder, and of course Parasite, which is a fan favorite by a lot of people in the internet. And it tells the story of Mickey, played by Robert Pattinson, who joins a space colony as an expendable, which is a disposable worker who gets cloned every time he dies for research purposes. So, I was actually able to watch this last Friday, and it's currently Sunday right now as I'm filming. I just didn't make a review on Friday because I didn't have time and I was kind of tired and I kind of had to think on what I had to say about this movie. So yeah, here I am. I hope I can get this video up by Monday. So yeah, Mickey 17, Bong Joon-ho. Naturally, I was very excited for this movie. This was one of my most anticipated movies of the year because it's Bong Joon-ho, and I've been anticipating this movie for like probably a year, probably even more. From the moment they announced this movie and they released a little teaser, I was pretty much on board from that. Like you have Robert Pattinson and you have Bong Joon Ho. I was very excited. And does it deliver? For the most part, it does. So let's start with the positives, with the things I really liked about this movie. Robert Pattinson, I think, is absolutely fucking fantastic in this movie. I think is this his best performance? It could be. It's debatable. This could be his best performance for some people. I don't know. I'm still jury's still out for me. But he was really good in this movie. I think this man has just detached himself from the Twilight series. Like he has been very vocal about how much he hates those movies.
Did your Twilight experience turn out to be what you expected?
Oh, when I read it, it seemed like it was like it was a book that wasn't supposed to be published.
Millions of Twilight fans out there just cannot wait to see this. It's very almost heartbreaking because they don't want it to be over.
Yeah.
It's a little bittersweet, isn't it? For them. Yeah.
And I think he's been pretty successful in detaching his legacy from that series because man, he just continuously proves himself to be one of the best actors working today of his generation. He is fucking fantastic in this movie. I think this guy is the king of accents and voices because wow, like you get his accent in Good Time, great accent there.
Losers like you are incapable of taking care of themselves. You're either leeching off mommy, or leeching off welfare, or living off the government in jail. That's you!
You don't know the first thing about me, bro.
What's to know? What's to know? You serve absolutely no function whatsoever. It's pathetic.
He has a good accent in The Lighthouse.
Sound like a goddamn parody. Giving and nagging orders like a sprinster school mom, when all the while giving the station in this devil's own role. Yourself. Well, it's all horseshit.
And then, of course, his Batman voice.
I'm vengeance.
Myself on the good Lord Jesus whenever he gives me the chance. And today, he's blessed me with another opportunity to follow in his footsteps.
And now he has a new accent up his sleeve in Mickey 17. Like, apparently he based it off Steve Buscemi in Fargo. I definitely hear it. He's very good in this movie. He's very good at playing this sort of like these two characters. Yeah, because like I said, this movie is basically about cloning. So he plays multiple versions of himself, but mainly he plays two versions of himself in this movie, and he does a good job at setting apart these two characters, these two Mickey 17 and Mickey 18. He does a good job setting them apart and giving them their own personality and like just getting the characterization right. And I think Robert Pattinson does a great job in this movie. I think this movie overall just has great performances all around. I think Mark Ruffalo is great, is absolutely hilarious in this movie. Between this and Poor Things, he really just does a good job at playing these over the top villainous assholes. It's so funny. He's very funny in this movie. I think he does a great job. Toni Collette plays the wife of Mark Ruffalo in this movie. I think she also does a great job. Naomi Aki. I think everyone did a great job in this movie. Performances all around, great, great cast. Um, Bong Joon Ho, I think, does a great job behind the camera as the director of this movie. I think this is a well-directed movie. I think one of my favorite things about Bong Joon Ho as a director is you really do feel his ability and his confidence and his voice behind the camera. You can really feel his ability as an auteur behind the camera when crafting a movie. You can feel that in all of his movies. And Mickey 17 is no exception. I think he does a good job at shifting between tones. I think that's something that not a lot of directors can get right. But that's something Bong Joon Ho has pretty much mastered. When you watch movies like some of his movies like Parasite, Okja is another one, of course. This is very similar to Okja, Mickey 17. Is he does such a good job at shifting between dark comedy and then the dramatic scenes, and then like shifting between dark comedy and tension. And he does such a good job at that and building and setting up scenes. I think he does such a good job. He does such a good job crafting this visually striking sci-fi world and really just immersing us into it. And yeah, I think this is a great movie. I think when it comes to Mickey 17, I think a lot of people will be expecting a Parasite level film. And I think that's unfair and kind of stupid. It's giving off the impression that Parasite is the only film you've watched from Bong Joon Ho. And to put that much pressure on this movie, it's kind of unfair. Because it's not, of course, it's not going to be Parasite level. But yeah, this movie is very much in the vein of Okja, which I pretty much expected. Like just watching the trailer, I knew it was like, oh, Bong Joon Ho sci-fi movie, and it's like a dark comedy type film. Definitely gonna be like Okja, and it pretty much is in the vein of that movie. And yeah, Bong Joon Ho did a great job, like I said. And yeah, this is a pretty funny movie. I think the comedy works very well in this movie. Yeah, and I think that has a lot to do with performances. The performances, and like I said, it's Bong Joon Ho. I think he does a great job with just balancing dark comedy with and dark comedy satire and just yeah. I think he does a good job at that. And the visuals are great. Like I said, Bong Joon Ho does a great job, and I think the creature designs are great, and production design, costume design, and pretty much all the technical aspects. It's done well. So my only real flaw with Mickey 17 is okay. So we're now about to go to the negatives. My only flaw with this movie is at times it can feel very heavy-handed. What do I mean by that? Well, it tries to tackle a lot of themes, maybe too much. So the premise alone. Alright, so it of course it touches on the themes of capitalism, exploitation, excess labor, and how people in power devalue human life, certain human lives. And throughout the movie, other themes are also introduced. You got themes of immigration and why people immigrate. You have the themes of existentialism, and the fear of death. You also have themes of identity. You also have the themes of colonialism. You also have the ethical and philosophical thought process behind why cloning is bad and why they banned cloning, why it's illegal in this world that Bong Joon Ho built. And it's introducing a lot of these ideas and themes, and because it's trying to juggle a lot of ideas, it's trying to say a lot of things, but it ends up not saying much because none of the themes are fully fleshed out. They don't feel fully developed because they're trying to focus on way too many things, and yeah, the film felt very overstuffed and bloated because of that. And I was kind of disappointed by how it was treated, by how the social commentary was treated in this movie. And it's not because Bong Joon Ho like did it badly. Like we've seen him do social commentary in his movies before. Like when you look at a movie like Parasite or Snowpiercer, it's like his signature thing. He always includes social commentary in his movies, and he does it really well. But in this one, he's just trying to focus on too many things to the point where, yeah, it nothing's ever fully developed, and it's kind of disappointing. I would have wanted to, see more of that uh, the ethical thought process, the ethical idea behind cloning. I would have loved to see more of that. I would have loved to see if, that fear of death aspect be more developed. This movie could have been very good, and it could have been very thought provoking. And that's what I was expecting. But it's not. It ends up just scratching the surface. And it's pretty disappointing. Like a lot of people have been calling this movie messy from what I've been seeing on the internet. And it is messy at times because the film structure, it tends to go back and forth between certain things, and that's fine for me. I like that structure in film, but for this movie, it you can lose track of certain things, of certain motivations, certain reasons for certain things, and it can feel very jarring at times. And for me, at least, it also kind of slowed the pacing down to the point where, like, I don't normally check. I don't intend intentionally check my phone because I don't want to see the time whenever I watch movies in the cinemas. I don't want to check the time, but someone was constantly messaging me throughout this movie, and when I saw the time, I was like, "It's been 1 hour already." Like, not a lot of things have been happening. I was like, "What?" Okay, wait, hold up. So yeah, um, yeah, those are pretty much my flaws with this movie. But yeah, a lot of people have been calling it messy. I think the term I would use is underwhelming. This movie is pretty much underwhelming. Yeah. So those are my thoughts on Mickey 17. Out of 10, I'll give Mickey 17 a 7.6 out of 10. It's still a good movie. I still had a very good time. I still enjoyed myself. I think the comedy worked. The performances were great. And yeah, I still had a blast. I still had a good time, but I was expecting more. And I think it's fair to say that. But yeah. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Mickey 17. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Derp it, derp it, derp 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 derp